This is really cool. It may not be perfect, it may not be gorgeous, but it works, and it's mine. It's all mine. Welcome to the Farmer Was Replaced, a game I picked up on Steam just now for like $6 Canadian. Kind of reminded me a little bit about modded Minecraft and Turtles, Computercraft. Thought it was kind of cool. So this is a really weird interface. Oh, look at that. The whole screen moves. Jeez, wasn't expecting that. It's like you're right in the game world right away. Quick start. I like it. The window here provides information about everything in the game. You can click window. Oh, it says it right there. I must have subliminally picked that one up. Yeah, gray toolbar, just like Windows. Okay, so we programmed the drone in here. First button, here we go. Text editor. Programming is done in a function window. It can be edited like a normal text editor when the program's not running. Makes sense. Starts or stops. One step, so it's like a debugging thing. And then a new function. Oh wow, it actually makes a whole new function. Minimizes. Or if you hold 3 seconds, it deletes. Huh, interesting. You know what? Everything I'm learning is it's explaining it right here. So we got code completion, tab to autocomplete. We got arrows to navigate the completion. There's 2 versions for programmers and for beginners. I'm definitely a bit of both. Like, I've done a little bit of Turtles in lieu of programming, a little bit of Java, but this looks like, I'm not sure what this looks like. Oh, you know what? It says right there. I should just read this page. It says Python. It's similar to Python, but it's not Python. You unlock features one by one. Okay. I might have to go back and read this later. I'm kind of just skimming through this poorly. New function called main. You could only have one function per window. Okay, that's interesting. I got to remember that. That's actually key. One function per window. And pass does nothing. So we got a harvest function. Okay, so try replacing pass with harvest. Harvest, boom. Cool, so yes, that was hard to see. Let's try that again. For beginners, don't worry if it's your first program. It'll be unlocked step by step. Don't be overwhelmed. I like how they say that, but the very first time, if I was like a beginner program, this wall of text is a little bit overwhelming. A function's a container with a name. Def is the keyword to define a new function. A function name always has brackets after it to indicate that it's a function. Colon. So I can do a little bit of programming, but I definitely don't know the terminology. I definitely struggle when it comes to articulating a little bit that I do know. Note how pass is indented with one tab. Indentations used to define code blocks. Okay. I was wondering why there was no end. I'm used to seeing like in Lua there's like an end code block, but here the indentation is doing that, I guess. So we can make a new function here is f of 0. So we could call f0 and it would run this. So if we did harvest like that, we could call f0 or f0, whatever the heck it is, right? Then it would run. Cool. Notice how they both go red for a second. They're both running. Unlocks when you get hay. I would have called that a bushel. Oh, look at that. We can afford an upgrade. So you can now use a while loop. Only Boolean values. Wow. Only Boolean values are currently available. The only Boolean values are currently available are true and false. I mean, what else is there? Okay. Don't worry about creating infinite loops. There's a delay. Interesting. So the program won't freeze. Perhaps you already came up with the idea of selecting harvest. No, I did not, but fantastic idea. This will allow you to harvest several times with one click. However, it would be nice to keep it more compact, I guess is what they're going to say. Yeah, bad practice. Okay. Where you have to replace the condition. I'm just kind of skimming over this stuff because I kind of get the gist of where it's headed. And I always find it difficult to read a giant text when I'm also trying to record something. So while false do a flip, so it'll never run, versus while true do a flip. So if we just ask it to do a flip every time before it does a harvest, we could do a flip like so. You know what's interesting? That's almost like a wait function. Okay, cool. So speed. So speed costs 10 bushels. Interesting. So if we did like a while true, I guess you got to do capital. Is that what it wants? While true, do these things, and if you indent it, I think indenting matters. Oh, you can zoom out. Oh, I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's really cool. I don't know where I want my little crop. I guess in the middle for now. So if we hit play, oh yeah, that's totally got to be a wait. Very cool. Okay, so we're at 10. We can stop that. We can unlock speed. So now it's going to run a little faster. Very cool. So we unlocked... Wait, how did we unlock if? Unlocks planting, expands the size. Oh, we need 30. Okay, so we'll get this one. I almost want to dial the sound back just like a little bit. What's volume damping mean? Does that do anything? Weird. What a cool menu. Very different. Your farm is growing. The space isn't much use if you can't move around, so there's a move function. Northeast, south, and west. So move north, moves it field to the north. It is interesting to me that this is not a string. Usually I'm used to typing in a string, but it's like a keyword, I guess. It's bolded green. If you move to the edge of the farm, it'll move to the other side of the farm. Interesting. Okay, so let's stop this here. While true, do a flip. Maybe we don't have to do a flip all the time anymore. If we just did harvest. I guess we after here we could harvest. And then we could do move north, right? Harvest it and then move north. That's kind of cool. I see we're already at 50 bushels. 50 bushels of hay. Very cool. Plant. Grass is nice because it grows automatically. Other plants will have to be planted using the plant function. Interesting. You can only plant right now. The only plant you can plant right now, that's a weird sentence, is a bush. You could pass the plant type that you want to plant to a function like this. Plant entities dot bush. The capitalization is kind of weird to me. But, and then call clear to reset the grass on all. Reset the farm to all grass. Interesting. And to reset the drone position. Okay. Interesting. So, do we want to do plants right now? So, senses is 40 bushels. To expand it, you need wood. And you could speed it up again, apparently, but that's going to cost 10 wood, which we don't have. I guess plant is wood, maybe? Question mark? Okay, so this function here, I feel like we should we should say, hey, plant the entity, hit down, tab, dot bush, tab, close it. So we're going to plant it and we're going to harvest it, right? I don't know how this is going to work though. Something just can't be this easy. Wait a second. You know what's really weird? Is nothing's happening. One step at a time. Let's debug this thing. Okay, so we're doing a flip. We're calling the F0 function. We're calling, what are we calling? Plant. Oh, you know what? I see what's going on. Let's go back there. So we're going to plant, but we harvest right away before it grows. So if I give it a second here, it looks like it's stopped growing, and I do it again. Aha. So can I do... I guess I gotta stop it, right? How do I stop this thing? What if after we plant it, we say do a flip? And then I can probably get rid of that here. There's no sense waiting. Or maybe there is sense waiting, I don't know. F of 0. Why are you mad at me? What's going on? What do you mean the function doesn't exist? I'm looking at it. Unresolved errors. Oh, okay. Bracket. Oh, look at that. Oops, my bad. Nope, still not happy. The function doesn't exist or it has unresolved errors. Does it? I had to pause there to make sure my sound wasn't all jacked up. The sound levels looked a little off on the OBS recording. And I also noticed that nothing's happening here. So we're digging too fast. Even though we do a flip, we're harvesting too soon. So that's problematic. So if is probably what's going to help us here, right? There's going to be some kind of check I can do. The problem, okay, right here, the problem is that it harvests faster than the grass can grow, resulting in no harvest. So you can do a can harvest. So for programmers, the syntax in Python's like if condition, do flip, else, harvest. Wait, what? If condition, what would the condition be? You can harvest. What's the other condition? You can't harvest? Can harvest returns true if the plant under the drone's fully grown. False otherwise. If condition, if takes a condition just like the while loop does. You can use else. So if condition, do flip, else, harvest. So maybe like if not can harvest, then do flip, else. Interesting. So you can embed stuff, I guess. If and then if again. If else. So far we only have true and false as conditions, which of course is not very useful with if. The new function can harvest offers better conditions to understand how. Da, 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 da. Return values essentially allow a function to pass information back to the function where it was called. Here's one example. It always returns true. So if you call t, it returns true. So if t, do flip. That's a not bad little breakdown. I'm kind of torn. Like it kind of makes sense to me, but I'm a little bit familiar with Computercraft and Lua. I just don't know if you're a brand new beginner, if this would be overwhelming. Because there's definitely a lot of little tips that I'm just skimming over and I'm barely seeing. So I feel like you definitely have to read the guide and actually like absorb it. New function can harvest dot can harvest returns. Oh, that must be a period in a sentence, not like an actual part of programming period. It looks like it's like a, I don't know what you call it, chained function. My language is lacking. Returns true if the plant under the drone can be harvested. So we can now use if to prevent the drone from harvesting too early. Okay, so that's cool. So we can clean this up here. We can do plant the bush, right? And then What else do? We do a if can harvest function. If that's good, then if you can't, then it doesn't really matter. Just move north, right? And then I think it says it iterates over again. And then you don't really want to plant the bush though, do I? We'll see what happens. Planting the bush might break my progress. We'll see. I see there's some failsafe in there. I would have expected this to overwrite my progress, but it doesn't replant the bush over the bush. It just kind of lets it grow. It's not very optimized, but it works. So we need 40 bushels to get senses, so it can see what's under it and where it is. Okay, that would be interesting. You could detect if it's probably a bushel or a tree or a bush, I guess. So we want to get bushels right now. Entities, dot, okay, grass. Wasn't sure what it was called there. Now if we hit play, it should go faster now, right? We're going to get rid of the flip though. I don't feel like I have to wait for the grass. I feel like the grass grows quickly. It's pretty darn quick, right? Okay, senses. The drone can see. Functions get position X and Y, return the current position of the drone. At the start, they're both 0. Okay, that makes sense. Start counting in 0. So 0, 1, 2. Then the Y is to the north. So our east is actually only position 0, 1, 2. No, sorry. The position X is always 0. The position Y would be 0, 1, 2. Function is over checks if the drone's over a specific object. You can pass entities and grounds to it. So if it's over the bush, true. If it's over the soil, it's under tilled soil. Okay, interesting. What if I should stop this now? I got a lot of bushels. Speed, 10 wood. Might as well do speed, right? We need 50 wood for carrots and both of them for debug. So it looks like I just need to get like a halfway decent programming that's digging up both grass and bushes. So what should we do here? Maybe I'll try to keep my main function kind of clean, and then I'll just do most of my work in here. One thing I'd like to know is if you can comment, and I'm used to doing one of those or one of those, but I'm not seeing it change color, so it's actually really weird to learn a programming language and not learn about comments right away. I wonder if it's coming. Trees, watering, pumpkins, variables, fertilizer, lists, mazes. Oh my goodness. 15k carrots? No. Pumpkin? Wow. Okay, that's a bit overwhelming. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, is over. Okay, so let's do, we come to a function, and then the first thing it should do is, it shouldn't really plant something right away, right? We want to check what it is. Is over. Okay. So if it's over grass, that probably should be an if statement. If that function is over grass, then what? And we can, you know what? Let's copy this, or cut it rather. Control X on the keyboard, Control V to paste. So if you're over grass and you can harvest, great, right? But if, okay, if I just hit Shift Tab on the keyboard, it opens up my Steam overlay, which I don't think shows up in the recording, but Shift Tab usually brings your tab back, but I gotta hit backspace because Shift Tab doesn't work, which is kind of awkward. Else, Do we just say do a flip? Okay, so if you're over grass and you can harvest it, great. If not, do a flip in that spot before you move. Does that compute? I don't know if that's a good idea or not. That's cool. Then what? It's over grass, so we could do an else, no, an else if, right? Yeah, else if it's over entities dot bush, wrong bracket, like that, I think. Then we could do, I can see a problem right now. And if somebody's watching, they're probably going to see the same thing because there's no bushes planted right now. But I have a way I would think I will address that. So for now, I'll keep plugging away. If it's over bushes, then we want to do the same thing. If you can harvest, then harvest it. This actually feels like bad code now that I'm saying it out loud and typing it because I'm basically repeating a lot of the core stuff. I'm just changing words. So this is where you should be able to pass variables in, but I'm suspecting I'm probably not there yet. I see variables down here. So I'll just keep doing it this way for now. If you can harvest it, great, harvest it. And then after you harvest it though, you should plant it right away, which happens to be plant bush. So if we backspace this guy up a few times, great. Then we could do an else, do a flip, just for fun, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay. And then what? So what this is going to want to do is it's going to want to pick, but move north. I might run this just to see what it does. Okay. That's fine, because all it's going to do, right, is go through the grass and then move north. So what we have to do here is make another function that's going to be like a temporary function. And it's just going to be my planting my bushes. So if we do plant entity dot bush, close it, and then we say move north. I'm just going to run this once and twice. Okay, now that that's done, this was just kind of like a little bit of a helper function. So we just hit play. Okay. So I see it moves. Instead of waiting to harvest it, it actually just does a flip and moves, which kind of seems ridiculous. I don't think I want that in there. I mean, it's working. It's not really efficient, but it is working. Carrots, 50. 40 and 30. Expand, 20 woods. Ooh, 100 carrots, jeez. Should we expand the land and unlock movement? That might be regrettable. Complicated. Move. Okay. If. Some of these are new. Debug. That's weird. So it says debug here, but if I go here, we haven't actually unlocked it yet. So if I stop this, actually, I'll just leave that helper function there. Let's just do another test. Can we do print, like their example says, can harvest? It's always important to remember that last closing bracket. This needs to be unlocked before it can be used. Okay, so I feel like the game shouldn't give me this because it just causes confusion, especially if I'm a beginner, which arguably I am and I'm not. Oh my goodness, hints and solutions. I want to avoid those. You know what? This is probably the new piece of dialogue. Your farm's expanded. We now have a 3x3. The tiles are no longer in a nice row, so you have to figure out a way to traverse the square grid. So while true is not possible, at least until you unlock senses. With the while loop, with having a hard time talking here. With the while true loop, it's simply not possible unless you've unlocked senses. I don't see how senses would help me. Oh, it would. Your get position, get your Y. Okay, interesting. Introduce the for loop. Works the same way. Wait, what? The for loop works the same way as a for loop in Python. It's like a for each loop in other languages, not to be confused with the for loop in other languages, which is a different thing. That that does not compute with me. Okay, whatever. If I in sequence. Currently, the only way to get a sequence is through a range. Range returns a sequence that contains numbers 0 to n inclusive steps of 1. Okay. Then there's a start and end point. Interesting. And then there's a step size one. So more parameters equals more things, apparently. What's mainly useful right now is to be able to execute some code for I in range to a flip. The function get world size is also available now too. It returns the side length of your farm. If you're stuck with figuring out how to get them to move around, click the spoiler or the hint, which I don't want to do right now. I want to try to figure it out myself. So taking a quick look back here, carrots, debug would be kind of cool. So they all kind of require the same thing. I think I would rather get the debug and the operators first before unlocking something else, because that's just adding more complications. I really like how everything's laid out, though. It is very cool, for sure. I'm just trying to pause here and collect my thoughts. I feel like if I drag this around, it's going to help me. Why is this pig way out here in no man's land? The piggy bank. Okay, so what I want to do is get more crops, don't I? I'm going to do something a little cheaty. Okay, and then I'm going to make a working program, I promise. But for now, I just want to plant bushes in 2 of the columns, and then grass can be in the last column. Okay, good. So that's done. That helper function we are done with. Apparently we can't use print yet, so we're just stuck to these 2 functions here, which is fine. Now I should be able to hit play, right? Oh, I forgot about the whole moving east thing. How quickly we forget. What if I did... We could do a check. Get y. This is a function. It's equal to... Ooh, you know what? I probably can't do that, can I? It's equal to... It would be 2, right? 0, 1, 2 is actually 3. That's where comments would be nice. Then move east, right? That should work. Needs to be unlocked. Okay, so it's not saying it's an error per se. It just needs to be probably that operator right there. Okay. So how else can I do that? Maybe the for loop? Ooh. Okay, so for what? For I in range 2, assuming I is going to start at 0. Do that. But then when you exit it, do move east, right? But we're starting in a weird spot again. So we should probably make another function called clear, which resets everything. Just so it's not awkward. Okay, darn. I didn't really think that one through, did I? I clearly have to make a better program, so I don't have to do this again. But for right now, I feel compelled to push on. Okay, there we go. Let's just do play now. Why are you unhappy? Am I missing a colon? Play. Okay. So we're definitely doing weird things here for sure. But you know what? It's working. You know what they say? If it's scuffed but it works, it still works. All I have to do is get 2 more woods. Okay, here we go. For programmers, you've unlocked operators to use within expressions. They work like in Python. Okay, so we got, I believe this is like modulus, divide, and then leave a remainder. I don't know what this means. Comparison, equals, not equal, some Boolean operators. All numbers in the game are floating point. Arithmetic are also floating point. I feel like that should be a different color, like highlighted. Just to emphasize to the player. For assignment operators, you need to use the variables. You need to unlock the variables. Okay, so I still can't do x equals get x position kind of thing. For beginners, math makes sense. Modulus operator. It divides 2, returns the remainder. Yeah, so 4 divided by 2 is 2 with a remainder of 0, but 5 divided by 2 is a number with 1 remainder. And then decimals. Decimals are the thing. I don't see any mention of the double asterisks though. So I don't know what double asterisks mean. And then this just looks like a bunch of Boolean logic, which is cool. I'm just realizing how massive these numbers are all of a sudden. Okay, so can I unlock anything else now? Debug. Okay, so now I can do stop, and we can do this one. True. That is very cool, I will say. How it just draws it there. I was wondering where it was going to output the text. If you're confused about what's going on, I'm really surprised they don't give you information about comments. So we need carrots. Okay, so we need more wood to get carrots. It's just got a mind of its own. I don't care about tweaking it because odds are I'll have to change everything again when I get carrots. Keep pushing ahead. I'll probably cut it here and just sit here and wait. Play on my phone for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever it takes to get to 50. Wow, that wasn't even a few minutes and it's already at 66. Okay, let's do variables now. Did that work? What's going on here? Oh, we can't do variables. We need carrots. Okay, carrots is 50. Oh my goodness, what is going on? I gotta stop that noise here so I can think. Before you can plant carrots, you'll need to do 2 new things. First, carrots can only grow on tilled soil. So to till the ground, you gotta call till while the drone's over. Call till again to reverse. Interesting. So can you not? I guess you probably can't plant anything else if it's tilled. It has to be a carrot. The second thing you can do, you need carrot seeds to grow. You can buy carrot seeds using the trade function. You need to pass an item type to trade like this. So we're trading for carrots, I guess. You're asking for carrots. If the item can be bought, this will buy it. Code, carrots, the cost. Is it 1 each or is it 1 per? Like, is it this or this and this? I feel like that's a piece of information and or could be in there. Okay. So what if... Ooh, this is tough. I feel like... I feel like compelled to try to make it all into one neat of my main program, one neat program, but for right now, because I'm learning, I might just make a smaller helper function again. Like for instance, every time I call this little block of code, we're going to trade for items dot caret seed. Interesting, you can trade exactly for the caret itself. So we're at 147 and 24. We run this once. Okay, so it's cost something and something, and then that is now a caret seed. But you don't know it is, because when you hover over it, it doesn't tell you. I'm just going to assume that's an acorn. So if we run this 2 and 3 more times, that's fine. So what if I was to make this middle program do something else? Like, I keep wanting to hit Shift Tab to backspace, but that's my Steam overlay. So we could just add to this. Else if is over entity. But that's not guaranteed, right? Because, yeah, I have to fix this. What can I do again for operators? Well, I should be able to use operators now to do like a comparison, right? Okay, let's try to think about this here for a second. Wondering if I should just take a break. It's always stressful when you're trying to worry about video recording time when you're trying to work a puzzle out. Basically, what I think I want to do is have like, row Y, no, sorry, X0 would be bushes, X1 would be carrots, and then X2 would be grass. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just erase this and pause it here. Maybe instead of erasing it, I'll just make a new one. It already has the exact same. I guess this function's an error, so it just made another F0, which is kind of too bad. I should really give these things proper names. Function 4 is not a great name. So if the get y position is a function, it's going to return the position. If it equals, you know what? No, wait, we want it to be x. If the column is column 0, then we're going to do something. We're going to say, well, what are we going to say? I should do column 0 as grass. If can harvest harvest. I'm going to clear everything first, actually. Where's the clear button? Right here. Clear. Let's just start from scratch. Okay, there we go. All those bushes were intimidating me there. If the column is 0, then harvest it, if you can, I guess. And I just brought up that darn Steam overlay again. I can tell this program's going to be taking a bad turn in a bad neighborhood here right away. Because I want to do after the harvest, then check your Y position. If your Y position is 2, then move east. But the problem is that's going to get super long super quickly, and there's a more efficient way. But maybe because we're quote unquote learning, we'll just disregard how jacked up and over long this program is going to end up being. So if it equals 2, that means you're kind of at the end of the row here, so then you should just move to the east, right? But not just any east, an east with a capital. So if I do that, I think I just need to start hammering the keyboard with text here, with my fists, and then just see what happens. Maybe use my forehead a few times. if get position x equals 1, then what we want to do is, I should say plant. You know what you should do? You should totally plant a bush. Ooh, you know what we could do? If we're in this row, and we could say, if it's not, how do you sense something? I already forget how to sense something. Oh, is over. Okay. If not, is over entities dot bush. So if that's not happening, then plant it, right? Plant entities dot bush, right? And then that's great. But then we can do an else if can harvest. Function returns true, then harvest it, right? I don't think I'll worry about carrots. I'm not going to worry about carrots and trading yet. I just want to see if I can get this part figured out. So if we move to the middle column, which is column 1 in the X, if it's not over a bush, then plant the bush. Else, if you can harvest it, harvest it. So it's not taking into account it could be a carrot or something silly like that, but we're just going to pretend that's not a possibility right now. Cross that bridge when we get to it. After you've harvested, maybe we should do this little check again here too. Why is there double quotes there? That's weird. Something like that, right? What happens if I run this? It's angry. Okay, cool. Let's add that colon it wants. It's angry over here too. There needs to be a colon at the beginning. Oh, whoops. Made the same mistake twice because we copy and pasted. Okay. So we have to call... Oh, wait. We're on F4. F0. Where's my main? Yeah, where's my main? Okay, it's under that. Interesting. So instead of calling F0, we're going to call F4. I've kind of kept this as a reference because it's somewhat working in a scuffed way, and this is my new piece. Okay, cool. So we're doing really weird nonsense. We're not moving north at all. Fantastic. If position, you know what we could say? We could say if it's less than 2. If the position's less than 2, then we could say, you know what, move north. Else, you know, move east, right? Maybe. This is really bad because I'm duplicating the code so much that there's got to be a nicer way to do it. So like that, maybe? But I got to remember to fix this. So if it's less than 2, move north. If it is 2, then east, right? So where's my main? Right here. Oh yeah, that's an absolute disaster. Cool. So let's step through it. Right? X, this is X. Hmm. Huh. Let's clear this again and run it from the beginning. Okay, so I've got it messed up in such a way that it just wants to... That clear function is actually really nice. So we're stuck going east all the time for some reason. I'm going to put this program over this program. I keep getting confused when I look at that set. Oh, you know what? I still have a piece of code asking it to move east here. And I have this piece of code. Maybe that's my problem. F4 Maybe we just gotta call it here and see what happens. Okay, so it's broken. That's great. I see it's stuck here now. Because, oh, that's the third option. Okay, I probably should have picked up on that a little sooner. Um, Maybe we just copy and paste this, and we know copying and pasting is always a terrible thing to do, but we'll keep doing it. The last option is we'll do another row or another column of bushes, and then later we can try to change that to be carrots. But we'll clear it, hit play. Okay, cool. So it's doing real absolute nonsense right now. Maybe I should step through it just to see what's happening. I would love if there was a hotkey, so when I hovered over it, it didn't just block everything. Wait, X position is 1. It's not 1, though. Hmm. Oh, this is... Hmm. Okay, stop. Maybe instead of doing if, I could do like an else if. I don't know if that'll make a difference, though. Will that make a difference at all? I don't know. Let's clear it. Okay, I gotta clear this again. I clicked the wrong button. Okay. So what happens? I'm not even looking at the step program right now. I'm just mashing this key, staring at the robot. Whoop. I almost think he should move north and then he should move east. God, that's duplicating your code though. That's just terrible. I'm gonna blame it on the stage fright from recording. Thinking and trying to talk. Well, you know the camera's recording never ends well. Okay, so if we're at the end of the run, then you should move north and you, I'm inclined to just get rid of this check. We'll see what happens here. Okay. If it equals 2 with the colon, if position of x, no, if the position of y is 2, so always move north, I think. And then if it happens to be, we have to do this check first. So if it's at the end of the row, or at the end of the, I'm getting my row and my columns mixed up with my x's and my y's. If it's at the end, then you've got to be able to move east, right? But then you just want to move north to get back to the spot that I think it should be in. So this piece of code, maybe I can throw it back here. It'll kind of tidy things up, but not really. It's still really bad. Probably got to fix these indentations. I don't know how much it matters, but... Oh, no way, is it working? You know what? It's working, but I'm forgetting to replant it. That's actually kind of cool. So just for curiosity, if I get rid of this indentation, it's probably going to mess everything up, right? Let's clear it. Hit play. Okay, so it is yelling about the indents. That's good to know. So don't mess up your code blocks. Okay, so after we harvest a bush, if we can harvest it, we got to plant the bush. Got to replant. Only you can prevent. Plant entities. Only you can prevent forest fires. Right, so if you harvest it, then replant it. And because we're only working with bushes still, I will copy and paste this down there. We'll hit the go button. That's pretty cool. We're not waiting at all, so we're getting lots of bushels out of this, a lot of grass. But I see everything's kind of out of sequence. Oh, wow, we got a lot of bushels. Ha ha. Where are we at here now? Water. Water the plants to make them grow faster. Oh my goodness. So we haven't really learnt anything yet. We still have a pretty ugly program, but it's the basics. This is kind of fun. I'm enjoying this. It's definitely difficult to do when you're recording because my brain just shuts down. But this is enjoyable. Nice Sunday morning, sit here with a cup of coffee and play around with my little drone. Just trying to think what else I should do here. Should I try to clean this up or just push ahead and try to get carrots figured out? I feel like that's the obvious answer. So if we're in the last column, then if it's not over entity carrots, okay, cool. If we're not over carrots, then what we should try to do is, how can we check if we have seeds or if we can plant seeds? Like, is there a way to check your inventory? Like, how do you know if you have 3 seeds or not? I guess we don't. Carrots. Okay, let's just push ahead without understanding everything here. If we're not over carrots, then what we have to do is just delete this. It's wrong. We want to till, right? If we're not over carrots, you know what? We should be checking something else. We should sense the soil. The ground soil. If it's not, is underscore over grounds. This auto completion thing is just the bee's knees. If it's not over soil, then we want to till it. And then presumably you want to plant it, right? Like plant carrot? No. I already forget how you plant carrot. There's like 0 retention going on in my brain right now. Where's carrots at? Till. Trade item carrot. Okay. How do I plant it? Plant entities dot. Okay, carrot. Oh, there we go. So if the ground's not tilled in that spot, then you till it and then you plant it. Else. But is it tilled though if it's got something growing on it? Because it might not be ground soil anymore. We just have to run it, I guess, and see what happens. Else, if we can harvest it, then harvest it, and then we want to plant carrots again. But do you have to till it each time? I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find that part out. So let's just run this thing and see what happens. I'm going to reset. And then call true, or call main. We've planted bushes. Interesting. Okay, so that's working. The carrots are not fully growing yet. They're on the 3rd part. Okay, this is cool. Unknown entity. I made a spelling mistake. There's got to be an S. It's plural, I guess. That's cool. So we got 3 carrots now, but it's not They're no longer seeds. I probably have to buy more seeds. Can I run this or it probably won't continue? It does continue. That's just dumb luck that that works. Okay, so when it tries to plant, it just can't. Okay. That's good information. I'm actually surprised that it worked as well as it did. Wait a second. Why do I have 9 carrots now? What's going on? That's weird. Do you get 3 per? Is that what's going on here? So there's a few things I'm wondering. Like if you're every time you're trading, I wish you could drag these, make them a little bit bigger because like I'm zoomed out here. So it would be really cool, unless I'm missing something, to be able to drag this, you know, and actually make it bigger. But that'll come. I'm pretty sure this is early access, especially for $6. Trades. Yeah, so log and bushel. So we just have to make an assumption then that we can always make the trade. It's like you should almost check if your currency is good before you try to purchase. So maybe we just trade every time. If we're not over soil, we should probably just trade and buy more seeds. Trade for items dot caret down arrow tab completion like that, right? Is that going to make sense? Oh, you know what's happening? Is it is tilled. Interesting. Maybe here we should do... Oh, this is going to get sloppy. What I should have done is after we planted... Let's do a check here. If it's not is over entities dot carrots. So if that's not happening, then we want to trade, right? It's always kind of fun doing this and seeing what else can go wrong. What else did I not account for? Okay, so it's not happy. It's just spending my money like it grows on trees. Maybe it does. Okay. I kind of understand here what's going on. I'm just not immediately sure how to fix this. If it's not over the soil, then till it and plant. Okay. You know what? Let's get rid of this. If it's not over the soil, then till it. That's fine. We don't have to actually plant at this stage. If it's not over carrots, then you know what you should do is you should just trade for it and then plant the carrot after you trade for it, right? Makes sense. I'm going to have a surplus of 17, like a constant offset, but that's, I guess that's room for mistakes right there. Okay, cool. So we're probably always going to keep that surplus. After several passes. Oh, you know what? It's not going to trade for carrots, though. Wait a second. Why is my carrot seeds going down? Does it only trade if it needs to trade? Is it smart? Wait a second. Does this thing know that it doesn't, or am I missing something here? Okay, so it's, oh wait, what just happened? It's happening far too fast, but the program is too long that I don't feel like stepping through it. I think it's only trading if it has to trade. Interesting. So it's, I was worried about that, but it just handled it for me. Unless I'm missing something completely obvious.